Okay, we've come here to find out I would like to find out a little bit about the two of you. And one thing I want to let you know, that if you feel uncomfortable about anything that I ask you or we talk about, please let me know. We can stop, and like I said, at any time, we can stop talking about whichever you feel uncomfortable about. And also, I want to let you know too that if I were to see you in public or in the store, I don't acknowledge my clients first. I wait for them to acknowledge me, because if it's private, it's a private matter, us meeting here together. And if you don't feel comfortable in acknowledging me, especially if you're with other people, that's perfectly fine. Okay. So I want to find out a little bit about yourself. The first thing is, tell me a little bit, Kim, on how the two of you and Mark had met.
We're neighbors, and his daughter came over one afternoon, and she was being watched by a babysitter who was working, and she had hit her ball into our pool, and it was ice and everything was just starting to thaw, and she climbed the fence and went on top of the pool cover, and I was really concerned because I thought, Jesus, babysitter's not doing a good job. So when he came home from work that night, I went over to his house and I explained to him what happened during the day.
It sounded like you had some concerns for his children. Immediately, you had some worries about them. That's correct.
Yeah, because I was, if she ever fell in, if the ice was ever thin enough for her to fall in, I wouldn't have been able to protect her. And there was a 4.5 foot fence between his house and my house. The babysitter would not have been able to climb that fence quick enough and also get onto the lock gate of the pool to save her. So I did have concerns, for the safety of his children.
And what do you remember about that day also?
I remember coming home from work and Kim coming over to my house later on that night and expressing the concern about what she just said. And I thought my children were well taken care of with the nanny that I had. Little did I know these things were going on. So one thing led to another, and we started talking more and more, and we became really, really close friends at that point.
So it sounds like the children brought the two of you together. Is that correct in me saying that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that's still ongoing, the bond with the children? And how many children, I'm sorry, do you have between the two of you?
I have 3 from a previous relationship, and Kim House has 3.
And then we have 1 together.
Now, how does that work with you having children of your own and you having children of your own? Do you find that difficult? Is it something that it's easily managed?
There have been some challenges along the way. Kim and I have been together for 13.5 years. And most of the challenges stemmed from our differences as far as raising children are concerned. And not to say that one way was good and one way was bad. They were just different. So there were some clashes, as any mixed family would have. But I think throughout the time that we've been together, we've persevered over that.
I think the mistake we made was the kids were always separated. It was his kids, my kids, and the kids knew that. Him and I never came together on our ways of disciplining, or we weren't blended. We were not a blended family like we should have been. And unfortunately we didn't realize that until we'd gotten older, and a lot of things had already happened. But it was very hard because he had his children and I had mine. And my 2 children, I had adopted them at a young age, and their father had passed away 3 months after they were adopted. So they had a lot of issues they were dealing with within their self. And even with his children, their mother had left them at a young age. So all the kids together had a lot going on, and then we had a child together 7 years ago.
You must have had a positive relationship, though, the fact that you guys went through a lot of struggles and the two of you are still together. I'm taking the kids are older now? Is it...
Yes. Most of our children are in their adult years now.
Are they in the house still, or are they
no,
living?
they've moved on, moved out, and they've
we have 3 still in the house out of the 7.
Okay.
My son, he is 20. He lives at home. My daughter's 15, and then our son is 7. And we also have our grandson. We have custody of our grandson.
Do you have anybody else living in the house, or just
Kim's mother also lives with us.
How do you find that work? Is that working out okay with her mother living in the house also?
There's some challenges there also. As you would, mixed family. There was always some challenges, no matter what. It's day to day. It's small little stuff. I think her and I have a good relationship. I think her and Kim have a good relationship.
Now, should she support you in the way you raise kids? Does everybody come together on that?
No, not always. We don't always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we do. We're okay with everything. And I think it's just our way of thinking. Our grandson Devin, he's 5, so she tends to really spoil him. She's been his primary caregiver throughout his life, and he doesn't like to listen to her. So when it gets to a point she can't handle it, she says, "I'm going to tell Grandma Kimmy," and she sends him to me, and but he's not intimidated by that at all. He just, he'll argue with her about what they're going to watch on TV, and I'll just tell him this is what we're going to watch, and and if then I say, "Do you want to watch cartoons?" and he'll tell me what he wants to watch, and if I'm not in the middle of a show, 9 times out of 10 they're always watching cartoons anyway. But it's little things like that, he will tell my mother he's going to watch it, and they'll go back and forth and argue. Where with me, it doesn't happen like that. I give, I say this is what's going to happen, and that's the way it goes.
Now, how's that balancing out with him? It sounds like you have a different relationship with your grandson, you said?
Yeah.
Than your mother has with your grandson.
Yeah. I think he listens very well to me. He doesn't listen well to her. And when she's had enough, she says, "I'm going to tell Grandma Kimmy." And then Grandma Kimmy says, "Dookie, what are you doing?" And, and then it's over and done with.
It sounds like even though there's differences, it sounds like it does go smoothly overall. Am I correct when I say that?
Yeah.
Now, what about your plans for the future? You have a change in your future and what you plan on doing?
We do have a major change upcoming right now. We're considering moving to Arizona. Some friends of ours are moving out there. And I think it'll be a positive change. The climate that we're in now is not really conducive to what I do for a living. I'm in construction work.
You prefer it's warmer weather out there,
yes.
I gather. And
yes. So I think the change overall will be good. We'll have a more modern, updated style house, so that we won't have any issues. Like we have now. We have an older home, and it requires a lot of maintenance. So there's some challenges there. But I think overall it'll be great.
I think how do you see differences with the kids? Do you think will be with a different climate? I mean, do you think it would be tough, or do you see it more positive, the move, Kim?
I think it'll be positive. I think the big issue that I have here is the school district. The school. My daughter's 15, and the things she comes home with and tells me that's going on in the school, in the district here, they seem to keep a lot from the public. And from what I heard, where we're going to go into Arizona, it's a very positive school district, and the kids do very well together. Up here, they have a lot of fighting, bickering, and a lot of drugs, and I know that's everywhere. But I don't think Arizona handles it like they do up here. They don't deal with it. So I don't think it's either not as well known, or they just don't have a tolerance for it. Of course I'd have to get out there and really see for myself. Because everybody has a different opinion on schools and what they like about the school. But that's my main reason for the move, is the school, and also because of the climate control. Here I can't handle the snow, so it'd be a lot easier for me.
Now, do you have any worries about moving to a different location? Are you familiar with Arizona?
Kim and I, several months ago, with friends of ours, we went out there for a mini vacation for a week or two. We found it great. It's a really, really nice area. The people are friendly. Of course, living there and visiting there are two different things. But I think one of the biggest challenges right now for me is finding work, finding some type of employment, something that'll match my income now. Looking online, looking at a few different resources where I can try to find something.
Do you have that concern also for him finding employment, or yourself? I'm not sure. What do you
I work for a resource center for independent living where we work with people that are developmentally disabled, and I do billing for children and individuals that have a disability. I'm not concerned about getting a position because it's human service and it's a very wide range field, so I don't think I'll have a problem getting a position. And I'll just do that part-time because I'm going to school. So.
What are you going to school for?
Human services, to try to obtain a grade, either an associate's or a bachelor's. I'm not sure right now. I want to see how things work out. I'm just in the first semester, doing well. So,
oh, so you're going back.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about her going back? It's a fresh start. Is it something that you're very? Do you support her with that?
I do. I've always wanted for her to further herself in something that she likes. And this is something that she's doing very well at, and something that she enjoys. So I think that she'll do very well as a career in this field.
Do you feel his support too, as when you're going back, as you're taking your classes now?
Oh yeah, he's very supportive. Everybody is, you know, especially my children. My daughter, she's 15. She knows when I go to school 2 days a week, it's a long day for me, and she really helps out a lot. She'll cook dinner. She makes sure the house is picked up. Very helpful.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, how do you see the relationship between the two of you in the future as the kids get older? And I know you said some of them are already out of the house. Do you see a change in your relationship in Arizona and the family dynamics?
I think there's always going to be a change in our relationship. I think mostly for the better, and I think it's each individual aspect in of itself, the kids, the climate, you know, this house. Once those elements are changed for the better, I think that will only enhance our relationship, because then her and I aren't stressed with ourselves, and then we reflect that upon each other sometimes. And you know, and we discuss that back and forth. We have a dialogue back and forth about the different things that that we see stresses out, so to speak, and you know, as long as we maintain that, it's it shouldn't be a problem.
Now you mentioned the house as a burden. Does the house feel like a burden where you're currently living? Is it?
To some degree. To some degree, it's like I said, it's an older home. It requires a lot of maintenance, and my work schedule keeps me away from the house for 5, sometimes 6 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. So it's kind of tough that when I come home, you know, I'm basically drained, and then I look around and I see there's a lot of things that need to be done. So I think that.
Like what type of stuff needs to be done that you're referring to?
It's just mostly like yard work. There's some maintenance on the house as far as the siding and the roof is concerned. We've got some leak issues. It's just a lot of little things.
So it sounds like this move and this change will take away those burdens. Is that correct?
I do believe it will, because we'll be moving into some place that's a lot newer.
So it sounds like a positive thing.
Yeah, I think this house really stresses not so much our relationship, but the relationship with my mother, because my mother worries about everything, and she doesn't speak. She tends to yell, but it's only because she's frustrated and she can't handle it anymore because she's older and she's having trouble getting around.
So how do you think she'll be when she goes out there?
I think that she'll be a lot more mobile than what she is here because of the weather and the climate. She suffers from arthritis really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And when we went out there for the summer vacation, she did well. She didn't have as much pain. So I think that she will be out much more. I think her biggest challenge is going to be getting used to the area and the driving, because she's very intimidated by driving in unfamiliar places. So I think that's going to be her biggest challenge.
How do you plan on traveling out there? Does she drive, or do you drive? Or?
She will fly out there, but we will drive out there. We'll drive our vehicles.
So she doesn't have to worry about the car ride out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Does she have plans for out there? Has she talked to you guys about the plans when she gets out there, what she would like to do?
I don't think she's really verbalized much. When we were there, we saw a few places that she enjoyed. I think that moving from here to there, she'll find a lot more opportunities with people her own age, more senior groups that she'll be able to do a lot more activities with. here, the senior groups do a lot of traveling type of, you know, away trips.
Here you said?
Here in the upstate New York area.
Okay.
Whereas I think there's a lot of areas that are geared towards elderly people, and that I think she'll do a lot better there.
How do you think her bond with her great-grandson will be once you get out there? Do you think that would be the same as here, or do you think they would be
I don't think that would ever change.
Yeah, it won't change at
I don't
all.
think it would ever
That's
change.
good.
Yeah.
That's something positive in her life, is that correct?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
oh,
he's
very much
everything. He's her
Yeah.
world.
Keeps her busy too.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point in the future we can meet with her also and talk about her feelings and if she has any worries or what she's looking
Sure.
forward to, you know,
Sure.
moving out there.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure she does because she is older and she's in the process of adopting Devin
Oh.
because she's been his primary caregiver. So she's going to adopt him, but we do all three have custody of him. Should something happen to her, he would go with us, and we have everything in order so that way, you know, he's taken care of.
He's protected all the way around.
Yeah.
You know, in the event that anything were to happen to either one of the three of us, you know, his well-being has been looked after.
Now, does he have contact with his biological parents?
He has never known who his father was. None of us have actually ever known who his father was.
And he's young still.
He's only 5 years old. He's never known really anyone to be a father figure in his life. His mother, his biological mother, has been very, very extremely minimal in his life at all. The 5 years that he's been alive, 99% of it he's lived with us. I mean, he's been under our care between Kim and I and Kim's mom. So he's really only known us as far as any type of family, any type of mother-father relationship.
So it sounds like you're the father figure for him. Is that correct? Or
I try to be, but again, my work schedule keeps me away so much. You know, there's a lot of things that I'd like to really do with him. Is also he's only a couple of years younger than my son. You know, so I kind of treat him as if he were my son. You know, he knows that I'm his grandfather. You know, he knows that I'm not his father.
Does he call you granddad or?
He calls me Papa.
He knows who his mother is. He knows, you know, that Amber is his mother, and he does ask about her from time to time. And sometimes it's very hard for us. We don't know what to say to him because he'll ask us if she can come and live with us, and she bothers sporadically, so it's hard because, you know, it's not something consistent, so it's hard on him.
But he does sound like he has support though, because he has females in his life and a male. Even though you're working, I mean, he must be learning that you need to work in life too. I mean, it's great that, you know, when you're with him, but at the same time he learns that you do need to go to work. You know, to maintain the family. So that is something positive.
He is a very smart little boy. He really is. He's doing very well in school. So I think in time he'll be well adjusted. I don't foresee him having many issues in life.
Now, does your son, your younger son, get along with your grandson then? If you guys you're living together?
They argue like brothers.
Yeah.
They're jealous of each other.
They were two brothers, two siblings.
And are they aware about the move? I mean, have you talked to them?
Oh yes.
They're excited about the move.
Have they said why, or they like the move?
They like the water park, so that's what they want. The water park,
okay.
you know. Yeah, they're used to having a pool here, and in the course in the wintertime you can't use it, but out there it's all year round. So my son, who's 7, he loves to swim, and as well does Devin. They both are very good swimmers.
So it sounds like they'll have a fun time out there.
Yeah, they're really looking forward to it.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so in the future, like I said, I would like to talk with your mother and maybe get the kids in here, and it'd be nice to discuss the feelings if there's any other issues that come up, especially with the move, because that's a big change in someone's life.
Yeah,
it is.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for doing this video.
Okay, thank you.
See if any of them recorded it.